All right, guys, now looking at section 2 of chapter 27 is titled simply imperialism. Right, so that's a good word to get a handle on imperialism. What is imperialism? Imperialism is when you have a stronger country, a more powerful country taking over a weaker country. And that's what we're looking at when we look at Africa. The Europeans going to Africa and doing that all throughout the continent of Africa. All right, so this section I talked to you about a new period of imperialism. And in this kind of imperialism, the Europeans really do venture. They actually go into the interior of Africa. They actually go to the interior of Asia, Asian countries as well. And in this kind of imperialism, they really want to control the land, the people, the resources. This is a different kind of imperialism from centuries earlier. So read about this new period of imperialism in this section here. The section also defines new forms of imperialism. For example, in this chart, they've taught you about what a colony is. A colony is a country or a territory governed internally by a foreign power. Okay, so in this section, they make differences between what is a colony, a protectorate, sphere of influence, and economic imperialism. Okay, so those are terms, ideas that you may have to know about. Also, in this page, they talk to you about new ways of managing the colonies. So they go in there and they conquer the land, they control the people, but they have new ways of governing people. So this section talks to you about that there. The section also talks to you about direct control, and direct control colony is one where the Europeans actually go in there and they control everything in the colony. Okay, so they don't use any local people at all. Everything is done, the governing is being done by the Europeans. Two words to know here are the word paternalism. Paternalism is when you treat people like they were children. In this case, the children being the Africans, being treated like children, and the people controlling them, or the parents, if you will, are the Europeans. So learn about paternalism and learn about assimilation is a process of trying to bring your culture or imposing your culture on other people. All right, so the Africans themselves, after a while, began to resist the European invasion of their lands, and they tried to do their best to try and get rid of the European control over their land, and to therefore read about in this section about how the Africans tried to provide resistance to the effort. All right, so one case of resistance is Ethiopia. So your book is going to talk to you about how the fact that the Europeans will conquer all of Africa. The only country that will not be conquered by the Africans, the only country not conquered by the Europeans will be Ethiopia. Of all the huge continent of Africa, Ethiopia will be the one that will not be conquered. And that's all thanks to a man named Menelik II. So you can read more about him in that section. All right, so resistance movements in Africa, throughout the African continent, you see all kinds of movements of resistance by the Africans trying to get the Europeans out of their land and gain their independence. So that's just a map looking at that part of the section there. Right. So, what are the positive things and negative things about colonial rule? The negative things are, well, people are going to have their land taken over by the Europeans. They're going to be exploited, used and abused by the Europeans. But there are also going to be positive things. And one positive thing is that it'll allow the African products to be known worldwide, and it'll bring some benefits to the African countries.